Okay, so thank you guys for joining tonight's call and everybody online that's watching this call. So this is really about using artificial intelligence or AI to help you and to support yourself to improve your health. Okay, so just first and foremost, I am not an expert at AI. A little while ago, we gave an introduction to ourselves, and I gave myself a 3 out of 10 in AI, and quite frankly, it could be a 1 out of 10. I don't know. But I do know that I've learned quite a bit in the last probably 4 to 6 weeks. And about 3 weeks ago, I came up with an idea of saying, well, if I've just learned this and it's pretty straightforward and simplistic, I bet you I can try to teach some people, clients, past clients, as well as anybody online that's looking to improve their health by leveraging AI. So again, not an expert, but I see that there may be some value here. All right. So the next screen I've got is my disclaimer, of course. The information shared here is for educational information purposes only and solely a self-help tool for you to use. I'm not providing medical, psychological, or nutritional therapy advice. You should not use this information to diagnose or treat any health problems or illnesses without consulting your own medical practitioner, of course. Always seek the advice from your own medical practitioner and or a mental health professional about specific health situations. For my full disclaimer, please go to coachmikethomas.com. And that's who I am. Mike Thomas, board certified health and wellness coach. I'm also board certified in lifestyle medicine. I'm a registered pharmacist. I'm a dad. I'm a husband. And that's my contact information. If you ever want to get in touch with me, mike@wlscoaching.net. I've been a health and wellness coach for just about 5 years. So today's date is July the 11th, 2023. And why that is relevant to this call is because a lot of what I say potentially is going to be outdated in really just a few months. This is how fast and this is how rapidly the technology is changing with regards to AI. But from what I know and what I'm going to support you with regards to AI, this is what I know and relevant today on July the 11th, 2023. So I wanted to make sure that I preface it with that first. So there's been changes in technology since humans have evolved, right? And why don't we play a little game? And this is part of the interaction part. Why don't you guys throw out just some things that have happened in the past that have really changed in technology and therefore affected or changed our lives significantly? What are some things that come to mind?
Cell phones, wireless technology.
Okay.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah, Wi-Fi, cell phones, wireless technology. Okay. What else?
Google Assistants.
Google Assistants. I love it. Okay.
GPS.
GPS. Yeah, we weren't using GPS back in the caveman days. Okay.
Streaming services.
We're all carrying a camera around with us at all times. We're actually all carrying a computer around with us at all times.
Yeah, that's right.
Streaming services.
Streaming service. Love it. Okay. Anything else come to mind?
There's a lot more opportunity to sell me stuff.
Okay.
That I don't
All right.
need.
So I went back. I looked up the top 10 things that have affected our technology in the past. And this is one of the first ones that came up, right? So this is the printing press. And what I want you to think about when I bring up these various technologies that were either discovered or invented, I want you to think about what that did to impact human life, right? All right. So invented by Jonas Gutenberg, the printing press democratized knowledge by making books affordable and accessible, leading to an explosion of literacy and the spread in the ideas. This started around 1440, right? So what is that, 600 or so years ago, right? Isn't that amazing? Just in 600 years, that's almost like the internet started 600 years ago as it relates to information being given, because before that, it was very expensive and it was just stories, right? That's how people communicated. So the printing press really, really affected humans, right? So this next one was discovered, and that is electricity. So the development of electricity, utilization of electricity has profound impact on society, driving second industrial revolution and leading to inventions like the light bulb, the radio, and the electric motors. This was in the 1700s, right? Then there's the transistor radio, right? So this is very similar to the internet or maybe even AI. The introduction of the transistor radio revolutionized mass communication and made information more portable and accessible. Unlike the bulky vacuum tubes radios that preceded it, the transistor radio was small, affordable, and required less power, making it the first truly portable electronic device, right? All right. The internet. So I don't know, we might have said the internet, or we probably indirectly said that with some of these things with the computer and streaming services. The internet has arguably been one of the most transformative technologies, reconnecting the global revolution, communication, commerce, and access to information. And of course, it was created in the late 20th century. So most of us probably were alive when that happened. We remember that. We're like, what is this thing called? The World Wide Web, or the super information highway, www, all this stuff. And remember when maybe 15 or 20% of the people that were really starting to dabble in the internet? Okay, remember that? That was like 1990, 1991, 1992. And that's where we are today with AI. Okay, so artificial intelligence, while still in a relatively early stage, is transforming how we interact with technology, automating tasks, improving decision-making processes, and having significant impacts across various sectors from healthcare to entertainment. Okay, so what I want you to see is the relevance of this presentation about AI and how that has the potential to be as great as some of the impacts of the things that you just saw with changes in technology. So as Nancy just mentioned a little while ago, one of the things with AI actually is Google Assistant or Alexa, right? So I just said Alexa and she's now looking at me. So Alexa, what's the temperature?
Right now, it's 88 degrees Fahrenheit. Tonight, expect a low
Okay,
of
Alexa,
67.
stop. She just keeps going. So that right there is actually AI, right? It's just your voice is prompting a computer to reach out for information and then give you that information back. Now that's pretty low as far as the technology goes compared to some of the other AI things you're going to see today, and probably a lot of other things that are out there as well. So there's a number of we're going to talk specifically about Chat GPT on today's call. That's where we're going to really go down the rabbit hole. But there's many areas that AI is helping to improve with regards to health outcomes. And some of those are personalized health monitoring, right? AI can enable personalized health monitoring by analyzing data from wearables. And that's like a computer you wear, could be like a Fitbit or a fitness tracker, and health apps. The algorithms on the AI can interpret this information to provide actionable insights, track progress, and motivate individuals to lead healthier lives, right? We'll go to virtual health assistant. Virtual health assistant, AI-powered virtual health assistants can provide personalized recommendations, answer health-related questions, and assisting in self-diagnosis, similar to something like on Google, right? You get on Google and said, my leg hurts, tell me what I should do about it. These assistants leverage natural language processing and the machine learning to understand user inquiries and develop accurate information. And then we'll go to the last one, health research development. Health research development, AI can accelerate medical research and drug discovery processes by analyzing vast amounts of information, biomedical data, identifying potential targets for therapy, and predicting drug efficacy. The potential is for AI to revolutionize clinical trials and enhance development of new treatments. And you're going to see in a minute, it can take vast amounts of information, analyze that, and give it back to you in a very concise form in literally seconds, right? It's all computers. I promise it's not a person. It's going to seem like it's a person in just a minute. So the word algorithm was mentioned a couple of times, and I wanted to bring it up just because that's how the AI works. An algorithm is a set of step-by-step instructions that describe how to perform a task. So if you're in that box on the top, if the answer is yes, you go down. If the answer is no, you go to the right. When you go to the right, you ask yourself another question. So it's asking these questions and going through the sequencing process to get an iteration, and it's quite frankly learning as it goes. The algorithm is used for solving a problem or performing computations. They're widely used through the area of information technology. So that's a little bit about other forms of AI, but there are a gazillion out there. There's so many apps that are becoming readily available because people are using AI to create apps to support other people in what they're trying to accomplish, whether that's with health or business or what have you. So my introduction, if you have not seen it yet, I think Bob said he was on it a little while ago, is to ChatGPT. So ChatGPT is a creation of OpenAI. It's a chat box where you ask it a question and it gives you an answer. It uses machine learning to converse with users. It can understand context, provide information, and even generate creative content like poetry and stories. So just like Bob said about the song and the poem or what have you. So ways that you can use ChatGPT. Now it's a little bit dry in the presentation, just to give you full disclosure, but that's getting ready to change. So there's a lot of different ways you can use ChatGPT to help you, but the three categories that I've organized this presentation are: number one, information and learning. So it can provide information on a wide range of topics, given the training of diverse internet text, because it's looking at internet text. It goes all the way back to everything that's ever been on the internet before September of 2021, right? So it's a little bit over a year ago, year and a half ago. That's the information that it has. So you really can't pull up relevant new data information, at least at this point in time. That's one of the limit drawbacks for it. Users can ask questions about history, science, culture, and more. It's a useful tool for self-guided learning and research. So those of you on the call that just love to learn, love to ask questions and go down rabbit holes, this potentially could be a really valuable resource for you. It's also, number two, is creative generation, brainstorming, problem solving. So ChatGPT can generate creative text such as writing prompts, poetry, or even short stories based on user inputs. It can also help with brainstorming, providing ideas or suggestions related to a given topic. And we'll get to a couple of examples in just a moment. And the last category that I have is ChatGPT can help with various productivity tasks, such as drafting emails or other pieces of writing, setting reminders, or helping to organize thoughts and tasks. So what I've done, can everybody see that screen where it says ways that ChatGPT can be used? Can you guys see that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, I have, now does everybody see my little boy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I have ChatGPT on an icon on my computer, on my laptop. Okay. And it's really easy to do. And I can show you how to set that up if you want. But I basically just click on it and it comes up and then I can ask it a question. Okay. So just bear with me here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just go through those three categories and ask it a few questions live here with you in front of you guys. And let's just see what it says, right? So the first question I have is, in 100 words or less, what did Abe Lincoln do about slavery in America, right? So I think most of us know that, or at least we think we know. I don't want to get too political here. So I'm just going to copy and paste. This is my question. I just put it in the prompt on the bottom of the screen. And when I hit enter, it comes up, Abraham Lincoln played a crucial role in addressing slavery in America as the 16th president. He led the United States during the Civil War of 1861-1865 in a conflict primarily fought over issues of slavery. Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation, blah, 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 blah. So it's short, and I did that on purpose, and we could ask it for 1,000 words, and it would have gone through and really talk a lot about those specific things in more detail or what have you. So here's the next one. I get a little silly here, but I wanted to know, I'm curious, how can a black cow eat green grass and have brown poop, right? I'm just curious. I wonder what it's going to say. So I just feed it in there and I hit enter. You guys can see where I did that at the bottom. And it says, the color of the animal's waste, including a cow's, is determined by various factors such as its diet, digest process, and the breakdown of the food components. In the case of a black cow eating green grass, the cow's digestive system breaks down the grass in its stomach and intestines, extracting nutrients and energy it needs for sustenance. During this process, the waste material undergoes further digestion and is mixed with other substances like bile and intestinal bacteria, blah, 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 blah.
So it gives you
kinda
common
knows that.
sense type.
What's that?
I said, so it really gives you common sense answers around
Yeah.
the silly question.
It does. Yeah, it can give
Yeah.
you some common sense exactly. So the second category on here is creative generation, brainstorming, and problem solving, right? So creative generation is like, write me a poem like Bob did. He wrote him a song or what have you. So I'm going to ask for a suggestion for the last word in this question. And that is, I'm going to ask ChatGPT, write me a silly story about 200 words about a girl that has the hiccups and she can't stop laughing. The girl's name is Francine. She lives in Nevada. Finish the story with how she solves the hiccup problem. The last sentence in the story should have the word. So who here wants to tell me what word it should say?
Giddy up.
Is giddy up a word? I don't know. How do you spell giddy up?
I think it's GIDDY hyphen.
Alexa, how do you spell giddy up?
Giddy up is spelled G-I-D-D-Y space U-P.
Okay, giddy up. All right, so let's see what happens here. All right, so I'm asking it to write me a story, and the story says, once upon a time in Nevada, there was a little girl named Francine. Oh, la, 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 it's going too fast for me. Okay, one sunny afternoon, she got a case of hiccups that made her giggle uncontrollably. It started as a small hiccup, but soon her laughter echoed throughout the neighborhood. Francine's hiccups were relentless. She tried holding her breath, drinking water upside down, and even reciting the alphabet backwards, but nothing worked. The more she hiccuped, the more she laughed. And the more she laughed, the more she hiccuped. It was a never-ending cycle. As the giggles and the hiccups continued, the people of Nevada started to notice. They gathered outside Francine's house, wondered what could be so funny. Some laughed along, while others scratched their head in confusion. Suddenly, Francine had an idea. She remembered a tale of her grandmother had once told her about a magical hiccup remedy. She rushed to the local rodeo where the horse galloped and the cowboys twirled lassos. With a gleam in her eyes, Francine approached the magnificent horse named Thunder. She whispered her predicament to the horse, who seemed to understand. Thunder took a deep breath and let out a loud giddy up, nay, that startled Francine. Sorry. Giddy up, nay, that startled Francine. And just like that, her hiccups vanished. The crowd erupted in cheers, amazed at Thunder's equine magic. Francine thanked the horse, still giddy with laughter, but free from the hiccups. From that day on, whenever Francine felt a hiccup coming on, she would visit Thunder at the rodeo. The Thunder's powerful giddy up would chase away her hiccups, leaving her with laughter and grateful heart. Okay, so there was not a person that put that together, right? That was actually generated by AI literally in about a half a second. Okay, so it understands context when you ask it questions. So here's another one. There's a problem I have, and I want to do some brainstorming here. I want to save money, and I want to retire when I'm 65 years old. I'm 29 years old teacher, and I make about $55,000 a year. Give me 10 ways that I will be able to retire as a millionaire, right? So that's my question. And I'm going to feed it to ChatGPT and start saving early, create a budget, reduce unnecessary expenses, increase income, minimize debt, live below your means, educate yourself on personal finance, seek professional advice. So it says on number 9, it says, educate yourself on personal finance. So now I'm going to say on number 9 above, recommend a couple of books I can read. Certainly, The Intelligent Investor, The Bogglehead's Guide to Investing, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, The Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey, A Random Walk Down the Street, right? So it's right there on point as an assistant to help and support you, okay? All right, so let's go to the last one here, productivity and task management. ChatGPT can help you various productivity tasks, such as drafting emails or other pieces of writing setting reminders, or even helping to get organized in thoughts and tasks. All right, so here's what I'm going to feed it. I just had an interview with Whole Foods grocery store. I really enjoyed the interview and would like to send a thank you email to Mr. Fritz, who interviewed me. Please draft this email for me, right? So I'm just going to put this in here. All right, dear Mr. Fritz, I hope this email finds you well, blah, 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 during our interview. I also like to express my appreciation. So there it is right there. Now, to be honest with you, this is great and a nice supportive tool, but you should probably, if you're going to do something like this, it's highly recommended that you make it your own and don't just copy and paste, because your ChatGPT will sometimes use words that we don't typically use. They're smart words, right? So you want it to be genuine. So you should always kind of make it your own. That's just my own issue, because I'm working with ChatGPT to help me create content for Facebook posts and all kinds of things, but I either give it what I've already written and it tweaks it for me, or I ask it to write it and I tweak that just so it's genuine. So again, productivity and task management. I'm working to declutter my house. I'm a bit overwhelmed. Some rooms are full, like old mail, magazines, and stuff that I should either give or throw away. Please put together a 30-day organized plan for me to take care of this problem. Let's see what it says. All right, decluttering a house can be a daunting task. So it gives you days 1 through 5, days 6 through 10, days 20 through 25, home office and study areas, sort through paperwork, filling important documents, shredding outdated ones, etc. So you can kind of see on the screen there, it went so fast, but I'm not going to read everything on there, but it basically gives you breakdown of days 1 through 5, focus on the small spaces, 6 through 10, tackle the kitchen, 11 through 15. You could have said, I wanted this to be a 90-day task, right? It would have really broke it down and give you some step-by-step processes to do that, right? All right. So ChatGPT is not without its limitations, right? So first and foremost, it is not a human being, right? I promise you that. It is not good, like I mentioned earlier, current data that goes back for this information is pretty much through what's been on the internet since September 21st and September 2021 and before. So anything that's after that would have to be a new version of ChatGPT. So you can't say, you know, what did Biden do yesterday with Russia? Because it's not going to know, because it only knows what Biden did with Russia before September 2021. You really shouldn't probably get on ChatGPT for politics or current events or pop culture or anything like that, because it's probably not going to be very helpful. ChatGPT is a powerful tool, but it's essential to consider its limitations, right? Doesn't have access to real-time data. It can occasionally generate incorrect or nonsensical, which is just silly information, and should not be solely relied upon for critical decision-making without additional verifications, right? So, you know, again, it's not always accurate. Now, common sense, when you're reading it, you can really use it and leverage it for the great information that it gives you, but it's not always going to be 100% accurate. So you should, if there's a serious matter here, you probably need to work towards figuring out and backing yourself up to make sure that accuracy is actually there, right? So how much does ChatGPT cost? Well, it's actually free on the internet, and you can direct assess it through, I think it's chatgpt.com. I'm really not sure, but if you just Google ChatGPT, the icon will come up, and that's how I actually save the icon on my computer. Now, there is a ChatGPT Plus version, which I think is the 4.0 version. And apparently it's supposed to be a little bit better. I don't know what the difference is. I actually pay $20 a month for that because I wanted to see if I can get the best version. But everything I've been showing you tonight is the 3.0 or the 3.5 version, which is the 3 version, etc. Right?
And that doesn't make you pay later?
Correct. It does not make you pay later. Yep. So it's 100% free, just as long as you have access to the internet. So
Like I was just, excuse me, I was just looking it up on my phone, and I have an Android, and they don't have it for Android yet. It's only for Apple.
Great. I did not know that. Thank you for sharing that. A laptop, I'm assuming, would be okay, but probably not for the Android phone, right? Yeah, good point. All right, so we're going to dig in for specific things that this chat GPT can help with regards to health. But before we do, I kind of want to get y'all's thoughts on what do you guys think when you've just seen some, I think, some pretty remarkable things that it can do to help and support information, knowledge, problem solving, etc. What do you guys think about maybe some areas that it could potentially help with health? What comes to mind? Chat GPT.
Ways that it can help.
HEALTH. How can it help your health?
Oh,
What do
I
you guys
wonder
think?
if I could put in different ingredients that I have and make a recipe.
Okay, yeah, I wonder
That's
too. Let's
cool.
see real quick here. That's a great point. So let's 5 ingredients, Kimberly. What do you got?
About onions, zucchini, oh goodness, almond flour, wow, red potatoes, and vegan butter.
I don't know if this is going to work or not, but let's just see. I have onions. I'm misspelling the zucchini here. Let's see here. I have onion, zucchini, almond flour, red potatoes, and vegan butter. Please give me a recipe. Certainly. Here's the recipe. It's
wow.
added garlic powder, black pepper. Let's see here. All right. So 1 large zucchini, 1 onion, half a cup of almond flour, 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast, optional. Garlic powder, salt, black pepper, 2 to 3 tablespoons of vegan butter for frying. So yeah, it gave you a recipe. Can we make this whole food plant-based? I'm just going to put the letters in there and see what it says. Certainly. Okay. Here's an adjusted version of the vegan zucchini. 1 large zucchini, 1 onion, half cup of flour, 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. And yeah, so they tweaked it to make it a little bit more whole food plant-based. What else comes to mind as what it could potentially do to help and support you with your health?
Maybe tracking.
Tracking? How so?
It can find tools for you to use.
What would you like to track?
Well, you could track your weight. You could track your blood pressure or your
Yeah.
sugars.
All right, I would like to track my weight and blood pressure. Can you provide a tool for me to do this? Let's see what it says. As an AI text-based model, I can provide you with guidance on tracking your weight and blood pressure, but I cannot provide a real-time tool for that purpose. However, there are various smartphone applications. So then it gives you a number of smartphone applications that you can do that with. MyFitnessPal, Samsung Health, Fitbit, Google Fit. When choosing an app or platform, consider your specific needs, devices, compatibility for user reviews. Okay, so
That's
that
pretty good.
kind of, it helps you a little bit, but it can't do that.
Yeah.
All right, so why don't we get out of here? Sorry, let's do this here. So meal planning is one area where it can help, right? So thinking about kind of the things that it does or what have you. So I'm going to ask it, here's the question I'm going to ask it. Give me a meal plan for the next 10 days. I want to eat only whole plant foods. Please include breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Each day at 2 p.m. and 8 p.m., I will have a plant-based snack. Please include recipes and ingredients. I'm okay with having oatmeal and fruit most mornings and some lunches being leftovers from the night before. I travel a lot in my car on Mondays through Fridays, so my lunches should be able to be packed in a lunch sack, right? So I'm gonna ask it this and just see what it says, okay? It says, 10 days. Boom. Here it is. Day 1, breakfast, lunch, dinner. Day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5.
Jeez.
Okay. It's all there. Now, can you provide me links to recipes from above? Question mark. See what it says. Certainly. So it gives me the links to the recipes if you click on them. Now, I did this earlier, of course, in preparation for this presentation. And I'm just going to wait till it stops here. I'm going to stop it generating. So I did this earlier and it didn't always work, and I'll show you why. So this is apple cinnamon oatmeal. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but I'm going to click on it. Yeah, so this one, yeah, so it says not found, error 404, right? So it's the right website, but it's not the recipe. And the reason is because it goes back to before 2021. So on all these, I always get to the lady's site or the man's site, but you kind of have to search in the Apple recipe in that actual website. So it gets you about 75% of the way there. But just know that that's a possibility because of the delay. So with that plan that I asked it to give me, I forgot to tell it. I forgot to tell you, Mr. ChatGPT or Miss ChatGPT, that I don't like beans and I'm allergic to gluten, right? So in that same function with ChatGPT, we can feed it and see what happens. I think maybe we can, maybe we can't. Let's see here. Copy, paste. I forgot to tell you that I don't like beans and I'm allergic to gluten. All right, not a problem. Day 1, day 2, day 3, right? So it's now taking all the beans and everything that has gluten in out of it to help you and support you in that capacity.
Wow.
Okay. All right. So with what I did with these health things is I started thinking about the pillars of lifestyle medicine, right? And again, it helps you to solve a problem, right? So my problem is I want to transition to being whole food plant-based. And I say, I want to be 80%. Give me tips, tricks, and a 90-day plan that will help me transition. Break it down on a week-by-week basis, right? So I'm just somebody that says, I hear about eating plants is more healthy. So I can actually go to ChatGPT and ask it that question. If I can figure out how to do this here. Sorry about this. Copy. And when I do that, over the course of 90 days, it breaks it down. Week 1 through 4, building a foundation. Week 5 through 8, expanding your resources. Week 9 through 12, embracing a mostly whole food plant-based lifestyle. Additional tips, meal planning, mindful eating, transition gradually, seek support, experiment with flavors, mind shift focus, right? All that is available through ChatGPT. So here's another one about nutrition. How can I limit the salt that I eat? Please give me 8 suggestions. Copy. Let's just see if it works. To limit your salt intake, number 1, cook at home. Number 2, read food labels. Number 3, minimize processed foods. Number 5, be mindful of condiments. Number 6, limit eating out, yada, 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 right? And then give me 5 excellent whole food plant-based recipe websites. I'm just going to see what it says. Certainly, Forks Over Knives, number 1. Number 2, Minimalist Breaker. Number 3, Oshi Glows. Number 4, nutritionfacts.org. Number 5, the plant-based RD. Right? So all that in the realm of fuel that you feed your body to be more healthy. It could potentially help and support you, right? So I got a little tricky on this with movement. I said, provide me with a custom workout plan for the next 14 days where I work on my core. Each day I work like I would like to do something for about 10 minutes. I sprained my wrist yesterday, so please take that into consideration when giving recommendations. Let's just see what ChatGPT says about my core workouts, right?
You know, one thing, can you hear me?
I can, Bob. What you got?
one of the things that I can see a problem with that is it doesn't know how old you are and what your shape is in shape.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely should take that in consideration. So when I ask it that question, the first thing it says to me, and I promise this isn't a person, I'm sorry to
So you
hear
tell it
about your
that then.
sprained wrist. I'll provide you with a 14-day core focused workout plan that takes your wrist injury into consideration. However, please note that I'm an AI language model and not certified fitness professional. It's always a good idea to consult with a healthcare professional. So then it says day 1, plank, hold the plank in position. Day 2, bicycle crunches. So it basically gives criteria or potential things that you can do.
Could
Bird
you put in
dogs.
an age and see what comes up?
I couldn't hear you.
Could you put in an age so we can see what comes up?
Sure. What age would you like me to put in?
I don't know. 60?
Okay, I am 60. And what question would you like me to ask? Should I change this therapy based on that age? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Should I alter the training? I alter the training based on my age? Question mark. Great point.
You got sure. Oh, never mind.
Absolutely. It's great that you're considering your age when designing your workout plan. As we age, it's important to prioritize exercises that support overall strength, flexibility, and stability, while also considering any specific limitations or health concerns. Here's an adjusted 14-day core focus work plan tailored for someone who's 60 years old. So instead of saying plank, it said modified plank. Perform plank position in your forearms instead of your hands. So it did tweak it up based on the age, right? It's just whatever you're going to feed it, right? So it can help you with movement. So here's somebody that wants to start running. Okay. It is, can you provide me with a plan for my running workouts? I would like to run a 10K in 6 months, and currently I can only run about 100 yards. I'm obese and would like to lose weight. I'm also very conscientious about the way that I look. Please give me encouragement in your answer. Okay, so we're telling ChatGPT to be our buddy and help and support us. And let's just see what ChatGPT says. That's fantastic that you have a goal to run a 10K in 6 months. Running is a great way to improve cardiovascular fitness, burn calories, and promote weight loss. I commend your determination and dedication to making this positive change in your life. Remember, progress takes time, so be patient with yourself and celebrate each milestone along the way. Here's a plan to help you gradually build up your running endurance over the course of the next 6 months. So it literally tells you month 1, week 2, start increasing, walking, running intervals, all the way down the line. Okay. Lastly, I want to encourage you to stay positive and embrace your journey. Every step you take, whether it's a small improvement in your running distance or a healthy choice in your diet, is progress. Remember that your worth is not solely determined by your appearance, but by your overall health and happiness. Be proud of yourself for making positive changes and keep pushing forward. You got this. That sounds like Coach Mike. All right.
You know,
I was just thinking the same thing. I can't believe how positive it is.
Well, I asked it to be positive. Bob, did you have something?
yeah, you know, I can see that it goes out and gets information, but to form sentences
Yeah.
with correct English is mind-boggling.
Yeah, I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. That's a very good point. So one of the other, there's a last couple of lifestyle medicine things I wanted to talk about, which is sleep, right? This is a common challenge I have with many of my clients. I personally have this challenge sometimes. So here's the problem. I have been struggling with sleep these last few weeks. I have been getting about 6 hours, but the sleep has not been very good quality. Please provide me with 5 tips for me to get better sleep. Okay. So some of this is probably common sense, but let's just see. I'm having a problem copying and pasting on my presentation here. And copy and paste. Yeah, here we go. Sweet sleep question. All right. So I'm sorry to hear that you've been struggling with sleep lately. Quality sleep is critical to improve our overall health. So then it gives 5 recommendations, and I'll just bullet point those. Establish a consistent sleep schedule, create a relaxing bedtime routine, create a sleep-friendly environment, limit stimulants and caffeine intake, and practice healthy sleep habits. Adopting healthy habits throughout the day can positively impact your sleep. Engage in regular physical activity, but avoid intense activity close to bedtime, as it can be stimulating. Blah, 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 blah. So there's a help with sleep. And the last one is about the social connection, right? So that we all know how incredibly important that is. This one, I'm just going to say the words, I am lonely. What should I do? Right? And I'm just curious, what is ChatGPT going to say? I'm sorry to hear that you're feeling lonely. Loneliness, it's going too fast for me. Let's see, loneliness is a common experience that many people go through at different times in their lives. Here are a few suggestions to help you cope with loneliness and potential connecting with others. So number 1, reach out to friends and family, and it talks a little bit about that. Number 2, join social or interest-based groups. Number 3, volunteer. Number 4, attend events and meetups. Number 5, explore online communities. And number 6, seek professional support. If feelings of loneliness persist and impact you on your daily life significantly, it may be helpful to seek professional support. Consider reaching out to a therapist or a counselor, etc. Right? So I kind of wanted to hit, that's not all of them, but that's most of them as it relates to the lifestyle medicine pillars, right? So last couple things I have, and then we'll wrap it up. So getting started, the big purpose of this was just to show the folks on the call and anybody online watching this, the tool that ChatGPT is and how I think it really could help and support in what you want to do to accomplish better health and wellness for yourself with those areas of brainstorming, problem solving, meal planning. I mean, there's just so many things that it can do. And quite frankly, you can ask it what it can do to help you with health, and it'll give you those things as well. And then you can drill down to number 6 on there and say, well, elaborate more on this and give me 5 bullet points of number 6, right? So if just as long as it's in the same Chat GPT feed. So getting started with ChatGPT is as easy as typing in a text box. You can ask it questions, request it to generate content, or even use it as a brainstorming partner. It's a user-friendly tool available at your fingertips. As the AI continues to evolve, it's set to play an integral role in health and wellness. With AI like ChatGPT, we can personalize immediate access to health and wellness information, transforming our approach to health and empowering us to take charge of our well-being, right? All right, so the last thing I have, I just had to share this with you guys. So, so this is a YouTube video, right? And I'm going to take this YouTube video and I'm going to show you what video it is. You guys might recognize it. So this is our, okay. You guys can hear that?
No.
So much for joining.
No, I can't hear.
Tonight we're focusing on fuel you feed. So this is our YouTube video from when Beverly Westberg presented on Leafside on April, right? And then I followed up and we talked about challenges and ways to overcome eating out, right? So there's actually, you can leverage, if you look at my screen, can you guys see where it says Leafside on the screen?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So I'm able to set up AI through YouTube, and I can click on this button here and it'll give me the words to this entire presentation.
Wow.
And then I click on this little button here and it takes that presentation, puts it in ChatGPT, and then summarizes it in just a paragraph form. So you could literally go through a YouTube video. So this is what it says. I just did this live. The group call focuses on fueling the body through home delivery services and challenges with eating out. Leafside, a home health delivery system, is discussed as recommended by option by Dr. Greger. Leafside is a whole food, plant-based, fat-free, salt-free, and sugar-free. The meals are freeze-dried and have a long shelf life and require simple preparation with water. Then it says tips for eating out include finding healthy options, using apps like Happy Cow, TripAdvisor, and focusing on portion sizes and non-fried options. Now, we all know that we talk a heck of a lot more than just that. But if you're interested in spending 90 minutes on a video and instead just want to see, is this something that I'm going to be interested in? You could literally go through this process. What I have is free, and I can show you how to get that down the road as well. But again, that's just another way that you can literally take, I think that presentation was about 45 minutes. In probably 10 seconds, it took all the words of that presentation, analyzed the words, and gave you a summary. Lickety split, right?
That's
So,
amazing. That's
Yes, it is.
amazing.
yes.
It is.
Yes, it is. I was just absolutely blown away by that. So finishing the presentation that we have is, this is again, an introduction to what is here and what is now. Currently, the numbers are all over the place, but I'm hearing anywhere from 15 to 20% of people are now using ChatGPT, right? So this is literally the era when people are like, what is this internet thing? Could you tell me more? What is this? What does this mean? That's kind of where we're at, right? And my recommendation is that you dig in, you learn about it and help and support yourself to solving problems, for brainstorming, for solutions with health and wellness. It's not a person, like I said, but you can almost treat it as though it's a person. There's a lot of other fine tools that it's helping me with my business a great deal, content. I mean, there's just a bunch of stuff that it can help somebody that's not looking for it to help with health and wellness too, but there's just a ton of really wonderful tools. So what?
And here I thought all those wonderful pieces of advice and answers that you were giving us was straight from your head and heart.
Yeah, no, it was all ChatGPT the entire time. No. Yeah, no, it's this has only been available for about 4 to 6 weeks in my eyes, but yeah, it's I am using it to help me and support me with what I want to do to put social media posts, verbiage, all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's really incredibly supportive tools. So having said that, before we close out, I do want to open it up for any questions, comments, or concerns that anybody has, and we can discuss. And if I have the answer, I'll definitely let you know. If I don't, I'll try to get it to you. What is everybody's thoughts or questions?
When I have a question, what if you gave
Well,
it?
as a teacher,
Go ahead, Bev.
well, I was just going to say, as a teacher, I would make sure that my students did not have their phones when it was time for creative writing, and it would have to happen in class because they're going to come up with these wonderful projects and products that are not theirs.
Correct.
Right.
You are correct. That's actually ongoing right now. Bob, what did you have?
What if you gave it a question? What is the healthiest diet?
You want to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see what it says. What is the healthiest diet? Question. Let's just see what it says. All right, so it says number 1, the Mediterranean diet. Hang on just a minute here. Number 1, Mediterranean diet emphasizes fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, nuts, seeds. It does say olive oil, a little bit of fish and poultry. Number 2, it says the DASH diet. I don't know if these are in order. Dietary approach to stop hypertension. Number 3 is the plant-based diet. This includes vegetarian or vegan diets, prioritizing plant foods. Number 4 is the flexitarian diet, a flexible approach that primarily emphasizes plant-based foods. And number 5 is the whole food diet, emphasizing minimally processed foods and encourages the consumption of whole, nutrient-dense foods while minimizing added sugars, refined grains, and unhealthy fats. So I kind of agree with most of that.
But see, it had this is where the controversies come in. So it has like our diet, whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
the whole food plan, but put it at number 5 because it's just going out and looking for data. It doesn't know what's good or what's bad data, right?
Right, probably so. It's hard to say, but honestly, every one of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 has a lot more in common with what we eat versus what's out there in the standard American diet, right? I mean, it's just so much. 57% of what we consume in calories is the processed foods. I think 20-something%, 30% is animal products, and there's very little of that that's recommended on here. So I'm actually okay with what it said, but that's just me personally with my understanding of what I want to try to do to fuel my body. But great point. What other questions, comments, or concerns?
Well, another question I have is I looked at this, like I said, like a month ago,
Yeah.
and I thought it was $49 a year. So maybe they changed it or something.
Yeah, the version 4.0. So there's different versions, but you can get the version either 3.0 or 3.5. It's free on Google.
Oh.
You pull it right up and
Okay.
it's 100% free. Just like the internet is free, it's the same thing. Now, there'll probably always be a better version or a more recent version. I really don't know the difference. I think it can solve complex problems better at 4.0. I don't know. Everything I'm using tonight, though, is 3.5. So, but it is in fact free, unless unfortunately Shelley brings to our attention that you can't really use it on Android phone. I wasn't aware of that, so that's news to me. But I'm sure that's going to be remedied pretty quickly.
It did say that it will be coming soon.
Oh, cool, wonderful. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, can you print things off? I mean, will it print?
Sure.
Yeah, that's a great point. So if you guys can see my screen, there's a little clipboard here, and when you click on the clipboard, and then I would go to Word. For me, this is what I do, and then I just go pull up Word, and there it is. Right, that's actually the document that I now can print up if I want to. Yeah. Now you can give it a thumbs up. You can give it a thumbs down. Yeah, you can ask questions. You can dig down further, about whatever, on number 6 above, or you said this, or, I mean, there's a zillion things you can do with it. You can actually train it the way you want it to respond to you.
Hey, Bob.
Yeah.
You ought to have him ask it.
Why
How
don't you
did
tell me?
Well, yeah, good point. How do you deal with the continual residual pain of shingles after long term?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to go at. It's going to go after
Drugs. We'll see.
It's going to. Yeah.
What if you said non-drug approaches?
Yeah. I'll have to do that. The other thing is, so Mike, you're saying it remembers the first question and you can go ask it another question?
Correct. Yeah. So I'm in the same feed. I'm in the same feed right now. I just asked it the shingles question. And the first thing it says is medication. The second thing it says is pain management. Third thing it says is nerve blocks. And I can say, well, in number 3 above, could you tell me, some centers that do that? So it'll remember that. That's because it's in the feed that I'm in right now. Now, if I go to the left here, you can see new chat on the left-hand side of my screen here. If I click on that, then I just have a brand new chat. And you can see on the screen, it says 3.5 Chat GPT, and then there's 4.0. And that's the one that I pay for, which is like $20 a month or something like that. I don't know. So yeah, it'll remember what you just said.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Or yeah. So.
And you actually asked it like what centers would offer that service, like the nerve block, for example?
You can ask it. Now it's going to go from data before September 2021. You can ask it, and it can even, I mean, I've asked it questions before. It says, based on my model, I don't have that information available. You may want to go to Google and see if it find it there or what have you. Yeah, so you can, like I said, you can drill down and really go down that rabbit hole. And, number 5, that was nerve block. Tell me these centers, and let's say it lists 10 centers for you. We'll rank them in order based on price, rank them in order. Well, number 3, the one you recommended, well, I want to know more. Where's the location? How do I get there? Give me directions. I mean, all that stuff can be set up for you. You can get really detailed because it's just vast amount of information it can analyze and spit out for you right away. So before, and we're a little bit over on time, but any other last comments or concerns or questions?
That was a phenomenal presentation, Mike. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was really
Yes.
interesting.
Very informational.